Hi, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening,
Good
sir.
evening,
Good
Good
all.
evening,
evening.
sir.
Good evening.
Right, I know it's a
Good
festival time
evening.
today and I'm taking this particular session, but maybe a good beginning of something coming
Yes, sir,
up
of
great.
course.
So, yeah, I want to just deviate from a routine. One is I want to understand how many of you are attending this class for the first time by me. I mean, in the sense, this particular session is getting streamed on YouTube and it is also going on Teams, Microsoft Teams. So just wanted to understand, maybe you can type it in the chat because I may not be able to read or let everybody speak, but just want to understand for
Yes,
myself,
sir,
like
please, sir.
how many of
Please,
you
sir.
are attending this kind of session by me for the first time. Put it in the chat please, not on audio. I'll prefer audio being muted by all of you at least for today, and from tomorrow's session it will be a interactive two-way communication, but at least for the day's time I'll prefer having it as one side communication. So yeah, a lot of people looks like are attending my classes for the first time. I want to understand how many of you, I mean, can you write in one line or one word what is your current background on the chat again? Whatever is your current background, what are you currently doing? If you are a job seeker, use that word. Don't say unemployed, that's a negative word. If you're a job seeker, put that word. If you're working on .NET developer, Azure administrator, database administrator, test engineer, architect, whatever is your current role in two sentence, I mean two words or three words, if you can put it. I see a lot of .NET developers, QA engineers. Mm-hmm. Good. Happy to see a lot of profiles. VMware support engineer, DevOps engineer already there. Wow. System engineer. Want to actually understand what type of people actually learn these classes. Cloud engineer. And second last question, why do you want to learn Azure DevOps? I'm just trying to get you warmed up so that you start contributing in a way of chat today. Why do you want to learn Azure DevOps? System engineer, manager, data engineering, fantastic. Java, wow. For a bright future. Mm-hmm. Is that the only reason for a bright future? Capture the Azure demand, upskilling. Because of my application runs on Azure cloud, so wants to get experience on the next level of, very good, upskill, multitasking, fantastic, new career opportunity, great, career growth. It's being used across multiple type of projects irrespective of the project domain. Fantastic. And the last question now, of course this is something for me actually. If you want to enroll, why would you want to enroll for learning through me? I want to understand that also. What do you know about me that you want to enroll for this particular course in the past? Yeah, some of you are doing it for the first time, that's secondary. But those who are coming back multiple times, or you might be already doing some course with me, or you might have done something in past 10 years, 20 years. What is the reason you have come back, or you are now planning to do the course through me? Through me in the sense Sandeep. Put it on the chat. I have muted everyone so nobody can speak. Been going through your videos for a while. In fact, AZ900, hands-on experience, a detailed understanding. My spouse was your student and he was very good review. Currently becoming the choice as public cloud. DevOps is the key to run cloud deployment. Fantastic. Friendly working environment, simplicity of teaching. I've already enrolled for other courses, so looking forward to this course as well. Great. In general, now, any one question you want to ask me, which I should take during this interaction of 1.5 or 2 hours, you put the question there. I'll pick up at some other point of time. What is the question you would want to ask me? Just put it on the chat, whatever question you may want to ask me, and I'll pick up as and when I'm talking to you. I'll pick up the question from there. There are two parts in which I would like to take you through this entire session. One, I would like to take you through the complete journey of Azure DevOps. How we are going to learn different topics. What is the importance of each topic? And how we will eventually probably reach something like AZ400 certification, Azure Cloud Specialist, Azure DevOps Specialist. So where are we going to land after completion of this particular course? That's one important thing I would like to take you through first. And let me probably begin with that itself. So this is the DevOps syllabus which I have compiled, and most of the corporates in the industry really like this particular syllabus because it immediately makes their employees job ready. At the end of this, you know how to apply DevOps in your projects. That's a big advantage you are going to see. So I see a lot of questions in regards to certification, real-time project. Yeah, try to answer. You will get the answer actually. As I am talking to you, you will keep getting the answers. Now, see, the culture of DevOps is not something very new. It has been there since long time, very long time it has been there. A lot of people have been using DevOps for very long time, but only in the recent times, because of the way the industry has taken the turn, a lot of people working remotely, multiple people working on the same project at the same time, having appropriate responsibilities attached to different people. These things have become very important. DevOps is going to make an organization very systematic. DevOps is going to make an organization very systematic in the development of entire project life cycle, right from gathering specification to development, testing, deploying, all aspects. We want to now do automation. We want to now make a process rather than making things human dependent. We want system to perform most of the things so that things become consistent in the way they are happening. See, I talk DevOps to you people today, and tomorrow if I talk again DevOps to you people, not necessarily the same content would come. It might vary some bits and pieces here and there. My selection of words might be different. My timing might be different. My examples might also be changing. At that moment of time, what is in my mind, that is going to define what content I deliver. Of course, the result is supposed to be the same, but the way I deliver it, it might be different. And because the way I deliver, it is going to be different, pretty obvious, the output might be slightly different here and there. This is the problem with human beings. Human being is a emotional person. I mean, every human has some emotion, and decisions which we take out of emotions are never consistent. So we don't want emotions now. We want a process to drive the result. We want a system to be in place which will drive the entire system. It has to be done like this. You go to a Reliance store, you cannot tell, uncle, can you please give me some 10% additional discount because I am your relative from so and so family. No, that will not work. If they have to give discount, there is already a predefined scheme going on. You are only supposed to follow that discount. Go to the neighborhood Kirana store. The person there probably would give you something at a very low price or maybe at a very high price. He might decide to give you maybe on taking some money now and lending it. I mean, the decision is by a person there. So that Kirana shop is not going to expand anymore now. Why? A human being is taking the decision and decisions are not consistent. Whereas the supermarket, the stores, they grow, they keep multiplying because they have created process. They have to only replicate the entire process everywhere. So same thing we wanted now to bring in our development culture. You have to work 40 hours in this week and complete this particular task. Now for the system it is 40 hours, you damn work now 60 hours, you work 70 hours or you work only 20 hours. What is system interested in? Seeing that the task is completed in the timeline which was given to you as per the sprint. So we want now to remove the emotions in software development right from the beginning to the end, and we want an automated process to come into the picture, and that is where DevOps can play its role. And that is where not only small, not only medium, not only large, every organization today is now adopting DevOps practices. Project is very large scale, which is going to go in years, or project is probably a few months. We still want to have DevOps practices implemented so that we can bring consistency in our delivery. And that is the reason you see there is a huge demand today for Azure DevOps. Azure DevOps has a lot of competition from its equivalents which are there in the industry. You have products by AWS also, you have products by GCP also, you have got Jenkins, which is also for creating CI/CD pipeline. Azure DevOps is for creating, but Azure DevOps somehow is shining a lot today. Somehow the demand for what Azure DevOps is providing is much more when compared to its competitors, and reason is simple: simplicity, easy to use, and it's like a supermarket. You will find multiple things under one single shed. For different things you don't have to go different places. You don't have to use different products. You will find all of them in one place, and that is what Azure DevOps gives us. So now that you know, it's all about automating the process of the entire project life cycle, right from the stage of gathering specification to the stage where the application is deployed, tested, monitored, reviewed, and everything. Let us see how does the course also compiles into something similar. We are going to start with introduction to Azure DevOps. Actually, we'll start with what is DevOps. Whatever I told you in 2 or 3 sentences or maybe 5 minutes is definitely not sufficient. DevOps is something about changing the culture of the organization. And change in culture is not going to happen in a day or two. It has to be adapted. It has to be forced. And it has to be showcased as what benefits people are getting. So all that aspect, what are the DevOps practices, what are the challenges we are going to face, understand little more about CI/CD pipeline, all that we are going to do in our first module, first session itself. But how does these DevOps practices get implemented by Microsoft Azure? Where we are going to understand different tools of Microsoft Azure. Let it be Azure Repos, or let it be Azure Boards, or let it be Azure CI/CD pipelines, test plans, Azure Artifacts. What is the importance of each one of these? That's what we are going to cover in this particular session. At a very high level, the environment of Azure DevOps we are going to get familiar with. It is here we are going to set up our lab to practice. Yes, Deccansoft will give you a Azure subscription, and a DevOps account can be created with the ID which we are going to share with you. So you don't have to give anything for labs. Labs are being set up by us for the entire course for you people to practice. So we will see how to create an organization, how to create a project in the organization, how to add users to that organization, let them come from Azure AD otherwise, or external users can be added, permissions can be granted. That piece of things we are going to see there. Azure Boards is supposed to come next, but now recent times Microsoft has actually from the main course eliminated Azure Boards and they have created a separate course, but here we are going to have an introduction. At a high level, what are Azure Boards? We are going to cover that for you people. This is where the entire project planning is going to happen. This is where the sprints are going to be created with proper capacity planning. So I know in my team I have 10 developers, maybe 3 designers, maybe 4 testing people, and some people have this art of creating wireframes. Some are database specialists who can work on database tables, stored procedure. So I know I have team. And I know this team is not going to work 24/7. I know they have limited number of hours in a day, and there are holidays in a week. There are occasions where the team members have applied for leave already. So with all this information, I have certain number of hours of developers, designers, testers, everybody. Now these hours I would like to distribute between the tasks which are supposed to be performed. Obviously, before that comes, what are the list of tasks? Once we have the list of tasks which have to be completed in next 2 weeks or maybe next 3 weeks, we are going to create a sprint, and at the time of creating the sprint, we are also going to do capacity planning. And then not only that, we also want to see how the sprint is progressing on a day-to-day basis. How many issues are coming, bugs are coming, how are they getting resolved? All this we can do with Azure boards, wherein we have to create teams within the organization, define different areas of the project, define different sprints or iterations we call it, working with work items, Kanban boards, dashboard, where the managers can actually see what is the entire progress of the project is what we are going to cover in the Azure boards. So stakeholders of the application who are investing on the project development or the senior managers team, they would always want to work with just this aspect. They are not interested in the technical aspect of a DevOps lifecycle. So there they are going to play on this particular area, Azure boards. Once the project is pretty well understood, all the work items are created. These work items by way of sprints are then assigned to the different developers, designers, database administrators, network administrators, IT team. All the people tasks will be assigned. Most important, every software development requires a project. It can be Java project, Python project, Node.js project, Golang, Go language, or any other language which is popular. We are going to create projects through which we are going to develop our code. So as we are developing the project, somewhere we need to keep all our source code so that it can be shared by multiple people in the team. That means we need something like a code repository, source code repository, wherein source code of the project will be there, certain common shared documents also you may want to place it, certain images or your artifacts you would like to place it, so that they can be shared by multiple people in the team. And that's what we can do using Git. Git repository is the place where the entire application is going to be shared with all the participants. And then we are going to work with, of course, now how is the Git program, how is the Git training different at Deckensoft? We don't teach you working with Git through a GUI. Most of the times people work with GUI. They use something like VS Code, or they would use something like Visual Studio or Eclipse, some integrated development environment, IDE we call it. And through that they make use of the Git. No, we don't want to do that. We want to use Git through CLI, command line, so that you really understand how you are going to make this the IDEs work in background. We will create a local repository, we'll connect to a remote repository, we'll push the code to the remote repository, we will download the code from the remote repository, we'll clone a repository, we'll see how to resolve the conflicts, how to optimize, reduce the number of commits, how to take care of the rollback, how to do rebase, and all these kind of things we are going to see in working with Git. When we say Git, there are two things we can make use of. We can make use of Azure repos, and we can also actually make use of GitHub. Doesn't really matter whether it is GitHub or Azure repos. Once you learn Git is same everywhere. It can be Azure repos, it can be GitHub, it can be Bitbucket. All these are ultimately using Git repositories only. The Git commands are common, immaterial of the platform on which we are actually executing them. So Git is what we see how our project is going to be shared with others. Thereafter, some projects which were very old were still in TFVC, Team Foundation Version Control. How we can convert those TFVC projects to Git repositories by just a click of a button can do that for us. So now what happened? We have a work item list sprint created in Azure boards, task assigned to different developers. Developers will take the code from the complete project, they are going to take from the Azure repo, and based on the task which is assigned to them, they'll start building the code. They're going to do all these things on their local machine. On their local machine, they will do the development. When I say development, it can be something like, I want to create a login page for the website. I want to create a contact us page for the website. I want to create a header for the website. I want to create footer for a website. And it need not be website. It can be any type of application. Once we know that, yes, we are going to have the code developed, which is generally the job of developers and not DevOps engineer. So here I would like to answer to one of the most important questions many people have asked and are asking today. It's a continuous process. Do we need to know programming when we want to learn Azure DevOps? Is programming a prerequisite for learning Azure DevOps? Definitely not. If you are a Java programmer, continue to program in Java and build applications. Implement your logic. If you are a Python developer, C# developer, Go language, your role is to build projects. Your role is not to take care of deployment of the project. The deployment and the process creation is what is the DevOps engineer's role. So there's a big misconception that you should have programming language knowledge. You should be able to do programming. You should be able to create classes. From these classes, you should be able to do inheritance. You should be able to do polymorphism. You should be able to create objects of those classes. Through the objects, you should be able to invoke methods. And all this is absolutely rubbish for a DevOps engineer, not required at all. But what should you know is, as a DevOps engineer, what a programmer does after the code is written. Source code is in source language, English language. That source code has to be converted to binary form so that machine can understand. So we apply something called as a build process. The way Java applications are built and the way Python applications are built, actually not built in Python, but the way C# applications are built, the way Node.js applications are built, there is a difference in each one of them. So you have to learn those steps. What are the steps? Step 1, source code is given to you. What to do to create a set of binaries. Now once you have the binaries, how to run the application. These things will be hardly 5 or 6 steps. Hardly, I am saying. If you are a Java developer, how to make use of Maven. Maven is a tool. Or Gradle is a tool. How to use Maven or Gradle and perform the build. Generate some artifacts like jar file, var files. If you are a .NET programmer, how to create DLLs, EXEs, binary folders. So is the case with Node.js, JavaScript, how to compile and use NPM tool. So every language will have its own process and you don't even have to learn all of them. Learn them on need basis. You are planted into a Java team, so you should learn Maven or Gradle, any one of those two, whichever your team is using. If you are planted as a DevOps engineer into a .NET team, so you need to know how the .NET projects are built. That is a learning of hardly couple of hours. It doesn't take more than that. Even if you want, it cannot be learned in more than that amount of time. So for those people who are coming from absolute zero background of programming, what I have done is, as a special case, I have compiled a video of almost 1 hour. Development life cycle. If you have zero programming background, I would strongly suggest you to watch this video. Once you are enrolled for the course, you will get access to this entire course. So you can watch this. This teaches you what is a language actually. What is the role and importance of a programming language? How to choose a language? What are the different types of application one has to develop? So all these things we would want to know from a beginner's. If you're a raw fresher, then this is going to be a good video for you to watch on our website. So when one very clearly understand, you don't have to be programmer. You have to only know certain steps which are required for building the application which the programmer has written. So the question now comes, today's date, developers don't need to be DevOps engineers. Should developer also know DevOps? No. Developers have a very clear role of programming. But it's like you are doing programming which is routine, and if you want to go to the next level, then in such case you may want to learn DevOps. So there are two types of people who could learn DevOps. One is people who are coming from programming background, and the other is people who come from information technology background, IT team we call it. Information IT team is actually responsible for provisioning infrastructure. See, actually the name itself has the meaning dev. Dev is nothing but development. Ops is nothing but operations. Operations is IT operations. So dev ops. So if I talk about certification exam of Microsoft also, AZ400. One beautiful thing about this certification is this is AZ400 certification. This is just an exam. By writing this certification, you get nothing. You have only cleared one milestone. But to really become a Microsoft certified DevOps engineer expert, go to this link, Microsoft certified DevOps engineer expert. If you want to really become, you want to put this logo on your resume or as your credits, you have to go through two certification exam, which is AZ400 is one, for which I am doing the training now, and then AZ104 as your administration, and the other is AZ204 which is Azure development. So if you are coming from this background or if you are coming from this background, you have to first write these two certifications, one of these two, either of these two, and then get into AZ400. So if you write these and this or this, you become a certified DevOps engineer expert. And something beauty you see here, this is a 2-star certificate. So for quite some time, if you have been performing the role of IT operations or you are performing the role of developer, it's definitely only a 2-star junior role. You become a 3-star certificate by writing DevOps. That's why I said DevOps is like upskilling yourself from where you are today. I would say everybody should learn DevOps, because once you know DevOps, you know the entire life cycle. From start to end, all the aspects you are familiar with when you are actually learning the DevOps tools. How to use the tools will automatically give you knowledge of what the process is. If you are a project architect, definitely you have to accommodate DevOps practices in your project. Solution architect, you have to use the DevOps tool. I mean, whatever is your role, this is something which I feel at least is going to play a very important role in the growth of a person. And that's why so much demand is there. Scarcity is there. See, every Tom, Dick and Harry is becoming DevOps engineer today. They are learning some course and they are saying, I know DevOps. No. If you are absolutely raw, you are really going to have a lot of challenges to get into DevOps. You have to prove yourself in the industry that you are capable of implementation of DevOps practices. Only because the demand is much high when compared to supply, somebody might give you a job but that is not going to be sufficient. Some hands-on experience is really beneficial when you want to implement DevOps practices, and that's what I'm going to talk about in tomorrow's class, how one has to mold themselves to become a DevOps engineer. So I'm not saying that if you are a raw fresher you shouldn't do at all, but you have to really put a lot of effort. So very clearly I started with the point, should I be a programmer to become a DevOps engineer? No. You can take this route. Zero programming in this. And then take this. Can we learn these two things side by side? Yes, you can learn these two things side by side. Absolutely no problem. Maybe because you are in emergency, you may want to learn parallel. But I would advise you learn one after the other, and this should be your priority and not this. After you do this, this would be beneficial. Because you now know the entire hardware infrastructure, how it is set up. And that is what we are going to use as a DevOps engineer. If you know you are a developer, you again know the project, how it is developed, deployed, all that you know. But you do it on a local machine. You want to do it in a remote infrastructure. That we will learn over here. So yes, we are going to now automate the process of build, and that's what is creating a CI pipeline and a CD pipeline. This is the main crux of the course. Creating a continuous integration and continuous delivery pipelines. Azure DevOps supports two ways of creating the pipeline. One is using classic build pipelines, and other is modern YAML pipelines. Most of the people, for unknown reason, find themselves comfortable with classic build pipeline, but that's cheating. Most of the organizations in real world today are using YAML pipelines, yet another markup language, YAML, Y-A-M-L pipelines. But because people feel this is easy, they want to be comfortable with this, but no, don't be happy, that's only the starting point. Maybe we'll start learning the classic build and release pipeline, but primary focus is always supposed to be on YAML pipelines. Remember this point. So the pipeline, as the name implies, is responsible for having multiple steps executed in an automated way with sometimes approval process in place. So DevOps practices majorly are implemented through a CI/CD pipeline. We want to do integration of unit testing of our code. Quality of code is also important. So we want to bring unit testing. We want to bring UI testing. We want to take care of things like technical debts. Writing code which is outdated or not deleting code which is unused is a crime. Today I am having a good life, but not knowing what I am going to do tomorrow, I purchase a Benz car. Imagine. Question is, can my salary take care of paying the EMI of the Benz car? Yeah, if it can, and you know the job is permanent, there is absolutely no problem. But my salary is not sufficient for me to do my day-to-day activity, and now I purchase a Benz car. So what will I do now? From one credit card, I'll take out money, put it into another credit card. From there, I'll take out money, put it here, and I'll keep paying interest and interest and interest. And 35% interest is what banks in India charges you people. Looting that is. And we are ready to pay. That's what is called as debts life of debts. Same thing happens in development. Lazy people don't do commenting properly. Lazy people write code which they used it today, they change code and write new classes, new functions, but they don't delete the old code. And that stays there forever, and when the new developer comes, he damn has to learn about the new code as well as the code which is not being used. So why not clean up? So we have tools available in the market which can tell us the code which is unreachable, unused, not commented properly, or not programming standards followed, and these things will be taken care of through a DevOps pipeline. During the development, we use a lot of times open source projects. I may use third-party JavaScript files. I may use third-party components, libraries. Now, what is the problem? Am I abiding by their licensing policies properly? I use it today, I do the development, and now it's the time to go into production, and suddenly we realize this needs a license to be purchased. And that license is out of the scope of the project cost. Imagine the situation now. You have to go back and make the changes. So we are to ensure that the products which we are using, we are having proper licenses too. The version of the software which we are using doesn't have bugs. If we are using outdated version, somebody should tell me, hey, this is the outdated version, a latest version is available, upgrade this to that version. We have got bold kind of tools which will do that for us, and DevOps practices will bring them into the CI/CD pipelines. Just imagine the power. You're not only performing automation, you're also bringing quality of code process in place. You are going to implement code review process. Before my code goes into the main repository, somebody should compulsory review. Maybe 2 people should at least review and give their comments. My seniors should do a proper review, and if I have implemented particular algorithm in a wrong way, probably they should go through and advise me, hey, change this and redo it in a this different way, and that would be a better solution. So we want to have these kind of practices through DevOps, and that is also the reason why organizations are moving for it. Small project, big project, large project, medium project, tiny project, everybody wants to use it. And that's the reason the demand is so much today. We want to be compliant. We want to ensure quality checks are performed. Azure DevOps has beautiful advantage of something called as Microsoft hosted agents. With zero cost, small organizations can start. If a project has only 5-member team, they don't even have to pay a penny extra for using DevOps practices. And if the organization has a lot of developers who are already using Visual Studio and paying for Visual Studio, they're absolutely free in Azure DevOps. They don't have to pay anything. And even otherwise, the cost of per user license is only $6 a month, which is also the cheapest. And the entire infrastructure is taken care of by Microsoft. So Azure DevOps to us is being offered as software as a service. A subscription model is being used. Unlike Jenkins, where we will have to set up the infrastructure. Or maybe Bitbucket, where we will have to set up the infrastructure. And today nobody wants to invest on the infrastructure. Everybody is moving to the cloud. Let it be AWS cloud, GCP cloud, or Azure cloud, or IBM cloud, or Alibaba cloud, or some cloud or the other, everybody is moving to. Maybe by 2025 or maybe 2030, you will see that there is no concept of on-prem data center. Everything would be eradicated. Everything would go into the data centers of the cloud service providers like Microsoft, Amazon, Google, IBM, different organizations. We don't know. Tomorrow one big player might come up as a new cloud provider, and that might catch up. But cloud as a service is what everybody wants to move to. Azure DevOps is already a service. So in the CI/CD pipeline, CI is taking care of all these evaluations. CD will be responsible for delivery, deploying into virtual machines, deploying into app services, deploying into Kubernetes cluster, deploying into Azure Function App. These jobs are all taken care by the CD pipeline, deployment. And for deployment also, we generally would want to create different environments. I would like to create a dev environment where the developers will do their testing. Once the developer gives a green signal, I want the same code to be deployed into QA environment. Once the QA environment, team people give an approval, I may want to have QA2, UAT, like that multiple environment I might go through, and eventually I would have a application deployed into production, and at that point of time I know there are no bugs, at least theoretically, or maximum effort has already gone to get rid of all the bugs. And these environments themselves can be created through the pipeline. Today we have got something called as IAC, infrastructure as code. You might use ARM templates which are of Azure, or nowadays very popular thing happening, Terraform, using which we can deploy the applications infrastructure. So on the fly we will create dev environment, deploy the application, and maybe destroy the old environment. Same thing with QA. First delete the old environment, deploy fresh everything, and let the application be tested. And production probably, yes, would all be always there. We would not recreate every time. But dev environment, I mean all lower environments where the end users are not working, only your internal team or maybe your client's team is working, that we can destroy, recreate, destroy, recreate, destroy, recreate. All that will be done through these IAC, infrastructure as code, and pipelines will be responsible for doing that also for us. So how to optimize those pipelines? For me, this is the most important chapter in the entire course. What is an agent? What is an agent pool? What are the jobs, different types of jobs which are there? When to use which job? How to work with artifacts, libraries, when to do conditional compilation, how to work with multiple branches, which branch should go into which environment. These real-time aspects we are going to cover in this particular course. UI testing through Selenium. If there is a Selenium tester in your team, they are going to write some Selenium test cases. Integrating Selenium test cases into a CI/CD pipeline. Very difficult task. Why? Browsers are changing their version every time. And as the browsers are changing their versions, the libraries which are suitable for those versions have to change. Dynamically, the entire application has to be tested. Then many times we want to work with security, DevSecOps. In that, one of the aspect is reading connection strings, passwords, or credit card details, any kind of secured information. We don't want to give access to also the DevOps engineers. We want to store all of them in something like Key Vault, and from Key Vault it should be read on the fly by the pipeline. So how to integrate with something like Azure Key Vault? How to do deployment of applications where database upgrades have to be taken care of. Of course, this is not really a powerful thing in DevOps. Most of the time database changes we would like to do offline. Database changes are not something very simple. They are always going to be complicated. Some columns got removed from the table, some columns got added into the table, some size changes happen, the data can get disrupted, constraints can be added. These are not going to be small changes. But for all these things, we can create a ready-made script and let that script execute through a CI/CD pipeline so that it can be automated. That we can definitely do through DevOps. So that is also part of a DevOps lifecycle. We may also touch Ansible. Ansible is basically a configuration management tool. A configuration management in the sense, imagine now there are 100 virtual machines which are taking care of my application. My single application, I have a very popular website and I have huge amount of traffic, and the entire system to work, there are 100 machines in my application. And on these 100 machines, I want to do configuration. I can't go to each and every machine manually and perform the task there. We want an automated piece of work to be taken care of. And that we can do it with Ansible. So in Ansible, we create Ansible playbooks, runbooks actually. These runbooks of Ansible, we played through the DevOps pipeline. We work with Azure artifacts, reusable components, how to take care of, whether they are NuGet packages in .NET, they are Maven packages in Java, Python Py packages of Python, Node.js packages of JavaScript. All these packages we would like to reuse, so we can create our own feed in Azure DevOps, and into that feed we can do thorough testing and deploy our packages so that all the other projects in the organization can directly make use of these packages. So we need now Azure Artifact for that purpose. Reusable packages can be deployed irrespective of the programming language, and from there other projects can make use of them. One beautiful aspect of Azure DevOps. Though Jenkins is a competition, we will see that lot of projects are today migrating from Jenkins to DevOps. Big numbers. Left and right people are moving from Jenkins to DevOps, but that cannot happen in just one day. They have already created their pipelines in Jenkins, so they can probably continue the pipeline in Jenkins, but rest of the things they can do it in DevOps. So how DevOps and Jenkins integrate with each other, that also we are going to see as a part of this course. We are going to cover containerization. Dockerization, containerization is the future. Every application today which we want to run on a remote machine, we would like to actually do containerization. So if containerization has to be done, can we do that process also through CI/CD pipeline? Yes. We can construct an image dynamically, and that image can be pushed into a repository dynamically. And from there, we can download it onto various other deployment platforms and run as a container. Likewise, we want to also make use of DevOps practices in Kubernetes. How to deploy a orchestrated application where maybe hundreds of containers are there into a Kubernetes cluster. Even that we are going to do as a part of DevOps practice. So this is in short. Looks like a lot of things one has to learn, and that is the fact. But let me be fair, you don't have to be a programmer to work with Git repos. How much deep a programmer has to go, a DevOps engineer may not want to go to that depth. You don't have to work with Jenkins compulsory. Azure, you don't have to work with, you don't write ARM template, somebody will write, you are integrating it. You don't have to write Ansible playbook, somebody will write, you will integrate it. So when people say DevOps expert, there is a misunderstanding that they are also expecting you to have Ansible knowledge, Jenkins knowledge, Docker knowledge, Kubernetes knowledge. Yeah, if you want, you can definitely do all these things. That's going to be the big value addition. But DevOps, believe me, is not a very simple role where you will go to the office with a lot of fun and then come back. No, it will keep you on the toe. You have to be alert. You are a responsible person when you are doing something like a DevOps engineering role. That's why in this particular category, people get hired fast and fired fast. Hire and fire is very common in DevOps category. Non-performers will not stay there. So this is the journey which one has to grow. And the beauty of this particular course which I deliver is everything is practical. Nothing is left by just giving you theory. This whole process we are going to go through step by step. In front of you, you will see how a project was started and ultimately delivered, and a lot of tasks added to the pipeline which are exactly as in real time. So if you are a developer and if you have developed some applications in the past, I can give you assurance that you can happily build an entire DevOps lifecycle for that particular project and claim that experience. It's not going to be something like you will just know the concept theoretically. No, you will definitely know everything practically, and that's the approach I take. So this is one part. Why? I mean, what is the offering given by Deccansoft? This is the offering of Deccansoft in case you want to join us. Now this particular batch which I am announcing, to be more specific about this batch, this is going to be a weekend batch only. The timings are going to be 5:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. every weekend. I know some time zones it is not comfortable, some time zones it is too much comfortable. Nothing can be changed about it. This is the time fixed. You can't bargain, I can't do anything, nobody can do anything. The timing is fixed on every Saturday and Sunday. There are some topics, I want to be very clear, there are some topics which I am going to delegate now. I am taking too much of burden. Some topics, I am creating specialists in my team who are going to deliver certain topics. Maybe 20% of the course will now be delivered with my team, 80% I am going to deliver. Unlike in all the batches, 100% I used to deliver. So some small change I am bringing so that I can be less tired. Age is counting now. So 5:30 to 8:30 every weekend classes will be there. The duration of this is going to be at least 8 to 10 weeks. We are not going to learn entire Docker in DevOps course. We are not going to learn Kubernetes in Docker in DevOps course. We are not going to learn Terraform. We are not going to learn Ansible. We are going to use these things. To teach Docker, I may take 3 to 4 weeks. To teach Kubernetes, I take 1 month. To teach Terraform, I would take 2 to 3 weeks. Ansible, 2 to 3 weeks. So they are courses by themselves. But yes, becoming versatile nowadays has become very important. If you only know Azure DevOps and you say I am 104 and 400 certified, chances of you getting job is comparatively less when compared to somebody who also says I know Docker, I know Kubernetes, and I know Terraform and stuff. Competition is extremely high, guys. Extremely high. Versatility is the most important thing in the days where the IT is again sometimes up, sometimes down. We see both the sides nowadays for IT. So don't think that you finish the course, you'll get a job. Finish the course, get a job. Finish the course, get a job. No, it's going to really do an acid test for you. There are packages which you can look at on our website in case you want to enroll for multiple topics. That's purely your call. Minimum which I recommend for people to do is go for Azure DevOps Expert package. Minimum this is, where it does a combination of AZ104 and AZ400. But if you can afford it, I would suggest choose something like DevOps Expert Plus. We have multiple topics in the same package here. You're hardly paying 9,000 extra, but you're getting Docker, you're getting Kubernetes, you're getting Terraform, Helm, all these things as a part of single package. Fees is high, sir. Yes, very high. Very, very high fees, but at the same time we provide very good quality when compared to the masses in the country. Or you can compare the course of Deckensoft with anywhere in the world, you will not get the same quality. I can give you that assurance. So it's an investment you are making on your career. Please don't compromise. 0% discount will be given. Don't even ask. Zero. Not even a rupee discount will be offered at Deckensoft unless it is well announced in advance. Don't even call me. I will not even talk on these things to you people. Entire information about what you are going to get is available over here. You will be getting complete Azure access throughout the course. You will get access to my material. Every topic, the PPTs, the documents which are used for teaching will be provided over here. Every topic you will find it. The material, the same material which are used for teaching, you will find it here. Nothing different, nothing cut. And these videos will keep upgrading. These are little old, but they are still relevant. But when I feel they become irrelevant, there is a change, I re-record them and replace them. So for people, time is not convenient. You cannot come on every weekend. You are traveling. Good advantage is we give you live classes. Along with the live classes, immediately you will get access to these videos also, but for a limited duration. And a very nominal fee they charge for extension. Very, very nominal fee in case you want to extend it after your course duration expires. Recorded classes are already there. So in case you are missing the session, yes, you get the backup. Timings are fixed. What you are going to get is clear. What you are not going to get is clear. What is the difference between YAML and Terraform? Terraform is for a specific purpose. Terraform is for creating infrastructure. Using Terraform we'll create virtual machines. Using Terraform we'll create virtual network, storage account, databases. You create infrastructure. You provision the infrastructure required for your application through Terraform. YAML is just one format, like JSON is a format, XML is a format. The latest is YAML today. So they are absolutely different things, nothing to compare between those two. How I want to practice YAML, how to implement approval process, that's what we will learn. We use something called as environment. In DevOps we have got environment. Through environment we are going to implement the approval process. Do you need to know a scripting language? Not necessary. You may or may not know PowerShell. It's your choice. We have created PowerShell as a video recorded material. It's by a friend of mine who has contributed. We haven't included in the package right now because it's not the material of Deckensoft. It's a separate material which we are including, but you don't need PowerShell for becoming a DevOps engineer. If you know, well and good, but not necessary that you should know PowerShell. So a lot of people think scripting language is mandatory. No, a lot of times nowadays people use Python for writing automation scripts rather than using PowerShell. Things have changed. PowerShell is the old style, but still supported today also. You might use Python, you might use your scripting language of your choice and put that in the CI/CD pipelines. I need assurance from the future that the timing is going to be same. At Deckensoft, you die also, even I die, timing will not change. Nothing will change. Once fixed, because my timings are, I don't have slots available in a day. So there is no question of timing getting changed, schedules getting changed, your faculty changing, no. Only reason the course will stop is I should die, that's all. Till I am alive, this course will be delivered by me. I told you, there are topics where I am going to take support of my team, especially Git I want to delegate it. Azure boards I have never taught, it's only recorded and produced. I want to delegate it. But CI/CD pipeline, which is the main crux, it's me who is going to deal with entirely. Some things like maybe test plans, I always delegated it. I never took this course. So there is a live project which I of course will explain to you entirely end to end. So 20% maybe I'll delegate, not even 20%, maybe less than that. Otherwise, same timing, everybody will log in, and I'm very popular to start my classes on time. 5:30 is 5:30 for me. Said that, I'll take the questions. People who are on YouTube may want to probably switch to Teams. You can raise your hand if in case you have question. You can raise your hand and I'll call out names one by one, and then you can ask me the questions related to the course before you take a final decision. Yes, if you want to talk to me in person, my phone number is 9849001840. I'm also on WhatsApp. Either on WhatsApp or phone. I'll be free after 8 p.m. Don't call me before 8. After the class, after 8 p.m. I'll be free. Whenever I finish my class, post 8 p.m. I'll be free. Today, not on a daily basis. Ideally, text me on WhatsApp. Most of the time I'll reply from there. Yeah, Ram, I'll take your question.
Yeah. In the current market, we see there is a more demand for AWS DevOps. So, does the Azure DevOps or AWS, which one is having more demand?
You are asking Sandeep, who teaches Azure DevOps, AWS DevOps is popular or Azure DevOps is popular? What should I answer? What do you expect? Should I tell in this class, AWS DevOps is very popular and I'm an idiot, I'm teaching Azure DevOps. Why are you unnecessarily wasting your time with me? Do you think I'll answer like that?
My question is actually, what does the Azure will be having the same demand as AWS is having?
Man, 100 times more Azure DevOps is in demand in the market than AWS DevOps. I've seen AWS DevOps, it is pathetic. There is no separate portal, you do everything from AWS only, and very limited features when compared to what Azure DevOps gives, especially when integrating with third parties. Extraordinary number of gallery items are available here. Plugins are available here with using which you can do most of the jobs by simply selecting the task rather than writing scripts. In AWS, I hate AWS DevOps, to be honest. No, I don't even treat AWS DevOps is in comparison with Azure DevOps. I did not want to say all this because that's definitely an individual's choice. Somebody who is very good at AWS may probably love AWS. It's like Coca-Cola, Pepsi. I like Coca-Cola, but that doesn't mean somebody else would love Coca-Cola. They would like Pepsi, their choice. Azure DevOps is something which is doing left and right in the market. Rather, people are using Azure DevOps to do deployment of applications in AWS and GCP. Even those kind of cases I have done training in the corporates. And again, disclaimer, I may be wrong. Clear?
Got it, Sandeep. Clear. It's clear, Sandeep. Thank you for that.
So, turn your hand down if you are done. Ramesh.
Hi, Sandeep. Yeah. As you mentioned, to go for experts, I would be more keen to go for expert level course. So my question is, can I do it in parallel, the administrator as well
You
as the
should.
Azure DevOps?
You should and must do it
Okay.
in parallel. I have already started 104 2 weeks back, 3 weeks back. You can join the current batch itself. One topic you may not understand, but from
Okay.
next topic onwards, it will be automatically smooth. See, what happens is Azure is independent topics. This is independent of
Okay.
this topic. This is independent of this topic. This is independent of. So every topic is independent. You can take an entry
Okay.
at any level, and you can come back in a circle. So there is
Okay.
absolutely no problem. If you want to join my DevOps Azure classes, join from tomorrow morning. Azure classes I run from 7 to 9 for 104, 7 to 11 if you are enrolling for the entire Azure suite package.
Yeah, but actually only my challenge is I am based in UK, so
No, nothing
morning
challenge. You'll
means
have to
it's
wake up 3 o'clock. What is the problem?
right, yeah. So
That's all, right?
again,
That's a
I'm,
jujube,
yeah,
ordinary challenge, man. To gain something, you have to
yeah,
invest on something. So I'm asking you to invest on your sleep. I mean, cut your sleep, not invest. Cut your sleep, change
okay,
your sleep timings. That's okay.
okay,
And that problem is going to be persistent. I have fed up hearing the problem of UK people. So many people keep calling me and I have to I mean, I feel bad, but I have to regret it. I don't have choice. Because I have only 2 days in a week where I can deliver.
yeah,
And
I
these 2
know,
days I am teaching morning 7 to 11 and I am teaching evening 5:30 to 8:30. And at times I
right,
do some special classes in the afternoon which are not for public but some private classes I do. So almost Saturday, Sunday are filled up with 15 hours for me. 12 to 15 hours are filled up. So I'm left with no scope.
right,
So
yeah,
you join the classes. If you're not able to manage, move to the videos and start working. And telling you, videos are also same. Nothing less, nothing
yeah,
more. Rather,
okay,
videos gives you advantage. You can change the speed.
yeah,
You can
yeah.
increase,
If
you
I
can
can
decrease,
forward or I can, yeah, I replay, etc.
you can replay, you can multiple advantages are there on the video, but that personal touch will not be there. So that's the side
Yeah,
effect.
correct. Yeah, that is the reason as I knew you for a long time actually, since 2001 actually. That's the reason I opted to join your course. I have very good confidence. And another thing is I prefer personal like a live class rather than videos.
Then wake up
So
early.
yeah,
I'll be
sure.
glad to see
And
you.
sure, definitely. And one last question. So I'm from, as you already clarified most of the question, doubts that anybody can come. So I'm in QA background. So if I do the full course, so will that be still okay to get into DevOps? So that
What do
shouldn't
you
be a
mean by
problem,
full
right?
course?
Like
You have to do full course
DevOps
only.
expert. Yeah, DevOps expert plus. Yeah.
It's a recommended one. See, again, how deep is your pocket, man? That's all.
Okay. Yeah.
We are a
So no,
commercial
that
training institute. There's no doubt in that. I'm not doing any charity teaching anyone. But at the same time, I'll not do injustice to what I have promised. You will see an extraordinary experience you will get through us. That guarantee I'll give you. Me and my team.
Sure, yeah.
They'll give you one of the best experiences for learning.
No, I haven't that trust. That is the reason, without inquiring too many, I just gave, joined. Already I paid actually for one of the
Okay.
courses, but just now I realized like you are recommending the Expert Plus, but I already paid for Azure DevOps.
Upgrade
So I
it.
will.
It's okay.
Yes, yeah, I will upgrade that one. Yeah, sure, definitely. Yeah. That's from me. Thanks, Sandeep.
Sukanta. I'm taking based on numbers, huh? Sukanta.
Okay.
Yeah, hi. So during this course, how will I do our practice lessons? Yeah,
I'll
I'm
finish
glad
my
I'm,
training.
uh,
And after I finish my training, I'm going to share the material with you people. Right? The
no,
entire courseware
will
will
we
be
get
given to
any?
you.
No, will we get any Azure access portal access?
Yeah, that I told you, right, already. Azure portal access, DevOps configuration, everything will be taken care by us.
Okay. During the
Except
course duration.
fees, you have to pay nothing. And there are no hidden charges.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Supriya.
I'm Supriya. I'm staying in Malta as of now. So I have registered for Azure DevOps Expert Plus course. And my question is the live classes of this Azure DevOps and that Kubernetes Docker related courses are on the same time, the live classes?
No. They'll be by different people, right? I will be teaching only to you, so then I'm not teaching to others.
Okay.
So if you can see here live classes. All live classes are listed here.
Means if both the classes are on the same time.
Not necessary. No.
means before
DevOps class timings
Yeah.
are fixed.
Okay.
See, Kubernetes is 5:30 to 7:30 on weekends, but it's going on right now.
Yeah.
So like that, it may come back in the same slot. It may not come back in the same slot. Throughout the year, we'll
Okay.
keep running. See, good thing is you have access to the videos, and live classes you can attend in next 1 year any number of times.
In next 1 year.
1 year. Any course you enroll at Deckensoft, live classes validity will be for 1 year.
Okay. So can I attend the classes for Kubernetes and Terraform that classes? If the next coming batch is on the same time, I can attend.
I cannot commit to you. If
especially
they are
like-
on the same time, you can you can attend. Absolutely no problem. And rather that should be the approach. Don't do too many things
No,
at the
sir.
same time.
My question is, this course and that Kubernetes course is on the same time. What it should be the priority? I'm asking.
This course.
Which one I have to attend? Yeah.
this course first and then Kubernetes.
Okay. Yeah.
Do
sir.
Kubernetes
Thank
and
you.
Docker in sequence. First Docker and then Kubernetes.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Arpit.
Hello, Sandeep sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
Hope you are doing good.
Excellent.
Sandeep sir, I would like to thanks to you after watching your AZ900 lecture on YouTube. I successfully completed the AZ900 exam.
Very good.
So it-
Congrats.
Very good. Thank you, sir. And secondly, I'm from the Cisco Network Voice Engineer background. So, and I also did my graduation from Electronics and Communication. So don't much have knowledge about programming or coding language. So the session was very good, and I learned so many things.
Come straight
My
to the
question-
question. Come straight to the question. We
Yeah.
don't have time today.
Yes. So my question is that I moved to the second chapter. Like I'm planning to do AZ104 and Azure DevOps. So me and my friend are want to do AZ104. So what will be the cost and
Cost and all,
AZ,
please connect to the backend team. Go to contact us.
Okay.
Connect with Kashmira
Okay.
Shah. Connect with Shubham. They will give you all that information. Actually, you'll find all that information here under different packages. Everything is in black and white. Nothing is hidden from us.
Okay. And second question is that me and my friend also wants to do complete DevOps, not the Azure or complete DevOps. So is there any course available in the Deckensoft?
Yeah, Suite Plus.
Suite
Expert
Plus.
Plus. Sorry, Expert Plus.
Okay. X++. Okay. And one more question is, I also saw some of the videos like for the practicing on the Azure, Microsoft provide the Azure Sandbox. So what
Sandbox
will
is
be the
only for
process?
corporate users, not for everyone.
Yeah, I'm a corporate one. I'm working in.
Ask your corporate if they can give you the access. They should give you access, not for general public.
Okay. So it is a paid one, but I saw in
Your
the
corporate
it
pays
is-
that. The sandbox is an
Okay.
environment created for your corporate by Microsoft at a very cheaper price so that they can promote Azure within the organization.
Okay. I will ask them. Thank you, Sandeep.
Thank you. Sukanta?
Yeah, I already asked my
Turn
question.
your hands down, guys, if you are done. Supriya? Supriya, done.
Sorry,
Chatterjee,
sir. My turn is over.
Chatterjee,
Sandeep, I think my turn is there.
Yeah, Rashika,
Myself
go ahead.
is Rashika.
go ahead.
Yeah, so thanks Sandeep, Nishi, and Kashmira for answering all the questions. So Sandeep, I have recently moved into Azure DevOps from last 6 months. Before this, I was working with SAP, and I was hired into one company to set up the release management for Azure DevOps using Azure DevOps. So I'm doing this course to understand, to have the deep understanding of Azure DevOps and to get the confidence of whatever I have set up is correct or not. Though whatever I have set up as a part of release management in Azure DevOps, it's working fine so far. But still, whenever we will have the sessions about releases, I would like to discuss with you separately, maybe to just understand whatever the processes that I have set up is correct, or there's something that I can bring new with your understanding.
The best way you can get me is in class.
Okay.
Outside the class, you will hardly get my time. Maybe 10 minutes I can talk to you. And in class, to whatever extent you want, I'll talk to you.
Sure, sure.
Okay, so very fair. I mean, my timings don't permit me to dedicate to one-on-one. Unfortunately, that's the part of the life. I can't change it.
Okay, no
But
problem.
in
Sandeep.
class,
Thank you
you
very
use
much.
as much as you can. Ask me as many questions as you can. The class will benefit from your experience. I will be able to answer multiple people at the same time. That would be the best option. Okay.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Sandeep.
There is a question on YouTube. Is the course going to be real time? The best real time examples will be taken over here. That I can give you assurance. Nivriti.
Yes, Sandeep. So is that fine if we go first with AZ 400, then after that AZ 104?
Do it parallel. At least
Okay.
parallel. Don't do 400 and then 104. Don't do that.
So I have already missed almost 2 weeks.
That's okay.
for
Still join. It's
104.
okay. Get familiar with the platform. That is the only requirement. Attend continuous. You have the videos. Watch them otherwise.
Okay. Yep. Thanks.
Fits.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, hi. Normally, during the CI/CD pipelines with Azure, GitHub is included. It's not like you learn GitHub and then separately do Azure DevOps. Is this course going to integrate stuff like that?
We are going to
During
do
the yeah.
GitHub Azure repos. We'll start from there and then use the content from repositories into CI/CD pipeline. So it will be end-to-end solution.
Yeah, I'm aware that some organizations do Azure repos, but normally people use either Git or
Doesn't make any difference. I told you,
So-
right? Ultimately, it's the
so
Git ingredient is same. Container is different. You take a plastic glass or a glass made up of glass. It's only the container which is different. Content is water in either case.
Okay.
So Git is what you are actually learning. Whether it is Azure repos or it is GitHub shouldn't make any difference to your learning. It's the same thing, and our team will demonstrate that to you. We'll use both.
Right. Cool.
Ravi,
This Azure Expert Plus is that it's going to cover the admin concepts as well, Sandeep?
104 Azure admin.
Okay, then, no worries. So you'll be providing the videos as well, right? I mean,
Yeah.
in the
Entire
course.
course is available as videos.
Sure. Thanks,
Arpit,
Sandeep, see, I'm planning to do both the courses 104 and Azure 400. So both the courses are available on the weekend so that I can attend the classes on the weekend because I'm working in.
Man, I teach only on weekend. I don't have time on working days. I am also a working person. So on
Okay.
weekdays I do my office work, I do corporate trainings. On weekends only I have time to teach.
So at what time
This
on
time,
weekend?
This time, same time,
5:30 to 8:30.
fixed, no changes.
Okay. In the
Narasimha
evening
Raju.
time, correct?
Yeah.
Hi sir, I have already registered for Azure Suite Plus.
Fantastic.
So I just want to understand, like in the Azure DevOps, do we cover any monitoring tool as well?
Any
Monitoring tools.
monitoring tools will cover in 104.
Okay. Okay. So that's not anything outside of the Azure, right?
You will
Azure
have that knowledge
service.
also. So don't worry.
Okay. Okay then. Fine. Thank you.
Akshay.
Hey, hello. Hey, hi Sandeep. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I just want to know, like we have just, I have just came with multiple, like push, like create 20 to 30 VMs within a very short time of span. So is it like capability in DevOps through pipeline we push 20 to 30 new virtual machines in one go?
You can push it to 100 virtual machines if you want.
Yeah, with different configuration through CI/CD pipelines.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
You need
just want to know,
parallel
like-
jobs.
Okay. Yeah, just want to know, like.
Dinesh.
Good evening, Sandeep. So the question what I have is, I have 10 years of experience in IT, and my complete experience is related to VMware and VMware support. So right now I want to switch my career. So the basic question what I am having is, once I complete this Azure DevOps Expert Plus, and
You don't
is it
enroll for
possible-
Azure DevOps Expert Plus. You should enroll compulsory for Azure Suite Plus. Don't
Okay.
compromise. You
Got
should
it.
enroll for Azure Suite Plus. 10 years
Yeah.
plus experience, VMware, fantastic that is. So invest on
Yeah, thank
something
you.
like this and then include Docker and Kubernetes.
Got it. So the question what I have is, once I complete the course in the next 3 or 6 months of duration, when I attend for any interview with the knowledge which I gather from you, and let's assume if I'm able to answer the questions and clear the interview, since I don't have any experience in the past related to Azure DevOps, I just learned from you. Will I be able to manage if I get a job on Azure DevOps in any organization saying that?
Undoubtedly 100% you will be able to manage if you learn the way I teach.
Okay, got it.
Now if you again put your own conditions, this and that, see, I have hardly 1 hour of interaction with you, rather 1 minute of
Yes.
interaction with you. So it will be
Yes.
too much for me to give you any commitment. But my
That's
confidence is very high. If I teach, make it very real time, you learn it like that, definitely you will go into the job and be able to perform most of the things. At least 70% you will be able to do it, 30% you might need some assistance from your team members. But it will be not
Got it.
like you will be seeing and not understanding what is happening. That situation will not
Okay.
happen. You will not have to go and ask for support to somebody else and then pay for that extra thing. No, you don't have to do that. But learn
Exactly.
the way I teach. You should be like a blotting paper. You know the quality of
Yeah.
blotting paper?
Yeah.
So it absorbs everything which falls on it. So I'm the ink. My content is the ink and you are the blotting paper. So the content
Got
which I deliver, if you can absorb everything, you will be the best in your team. That assurance I'll give you.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure I'll be more benefited because right now we have Azure VMware solution which we need to implement in our project. And I also work on Dell EMC, VxRail, and Dell has a separate product which is Azure HCI Stack and Azure Hub. So for those things, I'm expecting this 104, 400.
No, we don't
knowledge from
teach
you.
HCI in that course. That you have to learn on your own.
Yeah, I mean, what I mean to say is I want to gather this knowledge from you so
Yes.
that it will be my another extra skill.
Correct.
HCI anyhow will get trained in the organization, but I can tell to my team that I'm trained on 400 and 104 as well. So it will be my extra skill, additional skill.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah, thank you, Sandeep. Thank you.
I'm hearing a lot about this talent. I don't know what is it, honestly. somebody has been pushing me hard to do Talent D. What is this Talent D? I've been hearing. Direct messages also I got.
Talent is a tool.
Some tool. I generally don't get into these kind of tools. I try to keep my content more towards what is native in the technology. So these tools I would suggest, guys, you have to excuse me. Already so much is the content, now I'm on the verge of breaking. So much content is already there in my mind. I teach almost 30 plus courses I can teach. I am also now fed up.
Talent is like a ETL kind of tool.
So I would suggest Talent D and all, you do it on your own. Don't expect that from me. I would confine myself to any technology, and whatever is native in that, I'll teach that only. I have 6 years experience in SQL and I'm good in technology. Can I switch the technology with the course? Yes, switching technology should not be the right thing. You should extend it. What you are doing, you should always extend your knowledge in this and then see the opportunity. Stagnation is going to kill most of the people in the industry. Being in comfort zone of what you do on a day-to-day basis is going to kill most of the people in the industry unless they upgrade to the latest. So sticking to only one technology is worst thing you are going to do in your life now. Imagine I was an extraordinary trainer in .NET. Until 2014, from the beginning of my career, I was only teaching .NET. Imagine, I stayed with .NET training only. Every Tom, Dick and Harry knows .NET and is teaching today. I moved on from here, like that, multiple things. So upgradation is compulsory. I would suggest learn DevOps, even damn it if you don't want to get into job in this. Upskill yourself and be prepared. Why to go to the hospital only when there is a heart attack? A lot of people have that problem. If I can simply go every year and get myself tested, I can be more prepared. So upskill yourself, not necessary in DevOps. Maybe whatever you are doing, upskill, go to the next level, go to the next level, go to the next level. That's how the growth is going to happen in IT. Ramesh.
Yeah, Sandeep. So earlier you mentioned like when Dinesh asked, I got confused now. So you recommended Azure Suite Plus and Expert Plus. So which one should I go? So Expert, even with...
I would recommend Gold membership. Do you want to join? Is the question. You have to do that survey. This is the Gold membership, which gives you 12 months access to everything. All the courses on my website you'll have access to.
Okay.
So based on your experience, if anybody is more than 10 years of experience, I would generally advise them to go for at least Azure Suite Plus.
Azure, I have 18 years experience.
Then blindly go for Gold membership. You are the people who can afford this.
Okay.
Maybe 1 month salary or 15 days salary this is.
Okay.
Hardly 15 days salary this should be for you. And in this 15 days salary, what kind of gain you are going to get, you can just count on that.
Okay. Yeah.
Unrestricted access to internet, to Azure portal for a year you are going to get through Deckensoft.
Okay.
So anything you can practice throughout the year.
Okay.
I have people who are like members of this for last 4 years. First year we charge this much, second year it reduces by 40% or 50%, I think.
All right, okay.
So people are continuously members and they are taking the benefit and they have done extraordinary in their career.
All right, okay. Cool, yeah, thank you. And that includes all the courses, like Gold members can access all the courses within Deckensoft?
All courses, all this will be accessible to you.
All of them. Okay.
Entire toolkit will be accessible to you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Sure. I'll go for it then, yeah, definitely. Thanks.
That's your choice, huh? Don't go just because I advised. There should be need also.
No, no, actually, to be honest, I have some interest towards web technologies as well. Even I wanted to check with Kashmir Shah, and then it's good that you mentioned, because I'm interested in doing some web development and all as a like a passion for me. So that's why I'm planning to start that one. So
But
maybe the
doing
some you
development
have.
after 18 years is not going to be easy.
I know, but I'll try. We'll see how it works.
Yeah. Supriya.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir. Sir, I have 3+ years of experience in development, which is Navision and Business Central. So I'm new to Azure DevOps. I have registered for the Azure DevOps Expert Plus course. Can I, do you recommend me to upgrade to Azure Suite Plus, or this is fine?
How many years of experience you said?
3+ years.
This is enough. This is enough.
Okay.
Suite Plus gives you the advantage of becoming an architect and data engineer, but 3+, I don't think it's needed.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Srinivasan.
Yes, I'll just come right to the question. I enrolled for Azure Suite actually a couple of weeks back, and I have been going through your videos. Just wanted to check, is there any active WhatsApp group where the doubts should be clarified? If yes, how frequently the doubts should be clarified? Is it weekends only?
Are you not
or even
in
weekdays?
active
People
WhatsApp
that
group
prepared?
already if you have enrolled?
No, I have been enrolled. I have been in the group, but there is a doubt. A couple of those I have posted, but I didn't got any reply. So
Which group you are
not
in?
sure whether I am in the
Are you
right
in paid groups or the generic tech group?
paid group.
If you don't get the reply, see what happens is I have 50 groups. So sometimes it just goes down. So what you do is if you don't get the reply in the group, send it to me directly.
Okay.
Just tag me otherwise.
Sure.
Or take a time when you want to call me. That is also okay. And that's most easiest actually. If I'm free and we can talk and I can answer
I
your question,
understand,
that
but
would be easy.
most of the doubts should be a very small thing, or I may be doing some error in my practical, very small things. I'm missing out
videos
something.
for that?
Videos only. I'm just doing it based on the videos only. So in fact, I think this is the first time I'm attending your class live actually. Usually I go through only the YouTube. So in the last 1 or 2 weeks, I have been going through your videos only. It was very helpful in fact. So that's why we're doing my practicals, so just doing whatever you have done. Somewhere or other I'm getting errors. So maybe it's missing something. That's why I don't prefer to call. My some doubts might be a quite silly one.
Problem, you know
I don't want
what?
to take
People think I'm always busy. That's the problem actually. What can I do? I never tell people I'm always busy. I say I'm busy, but that does not mean I'm always busy. You people make an assumption that I'm always busy. Now what can I do for that? I'm
Okay,
always
yes,
ready to
I'm
answer
just
the
curious.
question in the
Thank
time
you.
available for me. That is what I can give you that assurance. So feel free to connect. You will definitely have a good
Sure.
experience. Mirza.
Hey, hi Sandeep. So currently I'm working as a Azure admin. So after completing of this course, AZ400, like how much experience we should expect to get a job in DevOps? Or do I need to upgrade into expert course as well? What do you suggest to me? I have 5 years experience in Azure admin.
I think that Azure admin is good enough, 5 years experience. So what I would suggest is you go through my syllabus, go to this Azure suite, download this curriculum. I think there is a problem with the, yeah, it's there. Download this and check how much of this you know already. If you know most of it, you don't have to join Azure.
Yes, Sandeep. So I have gone through that, your documents, and I can see most of the admin part I know of that. So my basic question is like, do I need to again upgrade, or do I need to be complete only AZ400 to get a job?
Man,
in
how can I
DevOps?
answer that question?
How much
Anything
experience then I can expect after learning of this code? That's my question.
See, 400 is going to cover all DevOps aspect, right? And if you're already aware of Azure admin, you don't have to join. If you feel you don't know, then you have to join. But I know the content which I teach. So to be blunt, I'll tell you like this. How much is 5,000 rupees extra going to matter to you? If you join 400, we charge I think 15,000. And if you join 104, we charge 5,000 extra I think. I don't know exactly, but if that matters to you, don't join. If not, definitely you will find something new in my 104 course. But not 104. You should join Azure Suite, not 104. There will be a lot of development aspects also which you are going to come across when I am teaching here, like Event Hub, Event Grid, Service Bus, Redis Cache, or working with databases, storage account. These kind of things, I don't know to what extent you know. They're not there in 104, right? So it's purely your call. It's absolutely your call. I would not want to interfere in that. See the content, syllabus, and then take a call.
Sure, Sandeep.
I'm
Thank you.
sorry for not giving a complete answer to it, but it's out of my scope. Sandeep sir, I just want to make sure I'm not confusing. I'm requesting to create a video on building CI/CD pipeline to deploy on Talend. See, once you know how to deploy in one place, the steps are going to be same wherever you want to do the deployment. Whether it is Talend or AWS or GCP or virtual machines, or the steps are going to be the same. Just that the target environment in which you are deploying, you should know about it, and what is the manual procedure you should know. The manual procedure is what is automating. Let me be very clear on this. Don't expect DevOps to do something which is not possible manually. Simple bottom line. Do not expect DevOps to do something which is not possible manually. DevOps can only do those things in an automated way what we can otherwise do manually. So, and that is the mantra of my teaching. The reason why people love my teaching in DevOps is I will always first show you how to do something manually on your local system. And same thing I'm going to carry into Azure DevOps pipelines. So you can relate how with DevOps and without DevOps you can do something. So tomorrow if something new comes up in your requirement, you should be able to still do it. Because you know there is a transition from manual to automated, and these are the things you have to take care of. Finish. Generic teaching is going to happen, and generic learning is going to happen. That confidence is going to be built up. So when you say Talend you want to use for deployment, do you know the procedure how to do it manually? Then follow the same procedure for deployment through pipeline. Understand why. That is the point you have to take care of. I want to both the course. What are your suggestions? Happily join both the courses. There is a package, Azure Suite, Azure DevOps Expert package. Sarfuddin, that's answer to your question. Is a course suitable for Oracle DBAs. If you don't want to leave Oracle DBA, this course is not at all for you. DBA is on the server side. This is different again. Abhilash.
Hi sir, Abhilash myself. I have 6 years experience in full stack development role. Which course is better suit for me?
Suite Plus.
In Azure Expert Plus.
Suite
okay,
Plus.
Azure Expert. Sorry?
Suite Plus, Azure Suite Plus.
Suite
you are
Plus.
a developer, man. You will become my profile. I am a developer, I am a software. I play multiple roles.
Correct, sir.
So Azure Suite Plus has 204 and that can take you to architect. You may not get an architect job immediately because of the less experience, but you will get prepared for it and you can accelerate your career.
Okay, sir.
Having knowledge extra than needed, that's your situation going to be, and you should be able to handle it.
Okay. one more thing. When I go to Azure Suite Plus course, in that course, do I have access for the all Kubernetes?
No. Docker Kubernetes, you have to add them. You have to add them to the package. Check with Kashmira.
Okay.
You go to this, and here you can choose the packages, which one you want. Docker Kubernetes, you may want to add it. Some 5,000 extra, right? Looks like 5,000 is only extra.
Yeah, Docker Kubernetes needed as well. In the process, Azure Suite course. In that course, do I get knowledge on CI/CD as well as Azure repos maintenance?
DevOps.
Okay. Okay.
See, your profile needs this. Your profile needs this. Your profile needs this.
Okay.
Got it? Those are mandatory. And you don't have this in any other package. This and this combination you'll find only in this package.
Azure Suite Plus. Yeah, thank you, sir. I will go for the Azure Suite Plus with the Kubernetes.
That's perfect. Arpit?
Yeah.
Hi Sandeep. Sandeep, my question is that I also heard about this Deckensoft shared access for Azure. I also had a conversation with Kashmira. So I just want to know, like, once I purchase Azure shared portal access, so I can create any resources on that portal.
Firewall.
Except firewall.
We'll delete everything you do. End of the day, we will delete. 6 o'clock, we will delete everything you do in a day.
Okay.
That's all. You can do everything.
Okay. And the time period is 1 month for...
No, only if you enroll for the course, you get the access.
But Kashmira told me that we are also providing the Azure shared access, like anyone can buy without
I don't know.
purchasing.
Talk to her then. That's not my department. So talk to her directly. But if you have the access, you will be able to access all the resources. Everything you can do.
Okay. And second question is, if suppose I am not having a much background of coding language or programming language, so if I will prepare for the AZ104 and AZ400, I want to learn any programming language or not?
Not required. More than 50% of my class will not know programming language.
Okay, like Python and Java?
Not required. If you want to learn, it's always good, but not required.
Okay. And most of the companies also preferring Linux and Unix?
Doesn't matter, man. See, there is no end to learning. How much you want to learn? I am learning VI editor now. I'm not a Linux guy, but for some of the requirements, I'm learning Vim and Nano editors of Linux now, at the age of 48. So there is no end.
Okay. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Ratnesh.
Hi Sandeep, good evening. So Sandeep, actually I have first of all I have like 10 years of experience and I already enrolled for DevOps expert. So I already started that class 104, and this is the first class of 400. So my question here is, Sandeep,
why did you enroll for DevOps expert, man, with 15 years? Go for at least Suite Plus. You should know the entire architect. You should be a solution architect. See,
because my background is actually started my career from the QA side and automation, Selenium, Java, and all.
It's expectation because of your experience will be more in the industry.
Okay. So can I upgrade those?
Talk to Kashmira on that. That I don't know, but
okay.
You should not have enrolled only for DevOps expert.
DevOps and 104 both.
Those are for people with less than 5 years, 6 years experience.
Oh, Okay. My question is, Sandeep. Actually, currently I'm working as a Scrum Master in my current organization. Okay, and as I said, like my background is from the Java Selenium side, but I wanted to add this course in my career. So, is that a, like a good
Very good
decision which I have
advice.
to get?
You
Okay, yeah, that's
must.
great. So,
Testing is boring
yes,
job. After some time, it will become boring.
yes. But
So,
currently I'm working as a Scrum Master, so it's a good decision which I have to take.
Scrum Masters are the first who would be laid off immediately.
Okay.
Become technical.
Yeah, okay.
What a
Oh
Scrum
yeah,
Master
that's what.
does? Conducts day-to-day meeting,
Yeah, that's what.
solves the problem, non-technical problem of the technical people.
Yeah, that's what I just wanted to become a technical side as well. That's the reason I have chosen that
Scrum
course.
Master is not a good profile.
Yeah.
One who is good at
That's what.
communication, one is good at problem solving of people. They are made Scrum Masters.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. The second question,
Sorry,
actually, you know what? No problem. Yeah, that's what. That's because of that reason, I just wanted to talk to the second question, actually, in my current project, like earlier, we were using that Azure DevOps, Azure for DevOps and all. But because of that higher management chain, they wanted to switch to the AWS from Azure DevOps. Like recently, they have changed those things. So that's what.
See, once you understand DevOps practices,
Okay.
they are just tool changes which are going to happen.
Okay. Yeah.
And problem is, in corporate world, we are not the decision makers. We are only followers of the top management.
Yes. Yes.
So if they
True.
are asking you AWS DevOps, you better learn AWS DevOps. Don't learn Azure DevOps and waste your time and energy.
Is it? Because I already just wanted to know, like, I already enrolled for, I already started going through that 104, and I already started practice on that as well. So after switching back to the AWS, like what I'm thinking, let's complete this certification. After that, I'll move on to the AWS.
Yeah, that's also a good idea, no doubt.
Yeah. That's what. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Sandeep. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Who is next now? Roger? Roger. You are on mute, Roger. Ramesh?
Yeah, one last question. During my work, I got to work on data lake, Databricks, etc. So I know that is a different topic. So as I'm planning to stick to DevOps, should I get into that one? And if that falls in data
That's
engineering,
really having a good career, man. Data engineering is growing very fast.
Yeah. So
If you
then
get
that's what is. I'm confused. So should I stick to Azure DevOps side? Or
Man, data
again,
engineers also need DevOps.
Okay. So better complete this one, and if I have still interest in then get into data engineer role, and which course should I do? Or data engineer?
TP200. Then if you are planning for that in future, go for Suite Plus. Suite Plus has
okay.
data engineering, 104, 400, everything.
Okay, that will cover data engineer as well.
Correct.
Okay, I can. Oh, right. Okay, got you. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. Thanks, Sanjay.
Roger, are you there?
Yes. Sorry about. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, my question is about Gold membership. If you can briefly describe a little bit about that special learning path guidance, what the benefit and how does it work for Gold members?
Gold members are the people who get all the courses access on this website. Every course, every webinar, every session which we teach, unconditional access you are going to get throughout the year. And you are also going to get access to the portal, Azure portal, for 12 months. You will get discounted price for the vouchers, exam vouchers. All these benefits are what you are going to get if you do gold membership.
Just I tried to get a brief understanding on how that learning path guidance, how does it work once you become a gold member? Do you ask or special learning path guidance?
Learning path, I would suggest start with Azure. Azure Suite. Start with Azure Suite. And you will know automatically after that. You may want to learn PowerShell on your own. You may want to do Azure Suite. You may want to do DevOps, Docker, Kubernetes, Power Platform. It's your choice, man. I mean, but start with Azure Suite.
Okay. Yeah, I have a map of things I want to learn. I was just trying to figure out.
Then you send me that map on WhatsApp. I can tell you if this is correct order or not, or if there are any changes, I'll suggest to you.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.
I think that's it. So, guys, we are starting the course. If you are interested, enroll for it, and we continue from tomorrow. Okay, same time, 5:30. We meet again for the live session tomorrow. Once you are enrolled, you'll also get the guidance on how to get access to the classes. Thank you.
Sure.
Best of luck. Take care.
Thank you, Sandeep. Have a nice evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sandeep.
Thank you.